and content to sit there for the moment. Just leave UAE this time. They were working earlier on today, which was, a head scratcher for myself. But, the one person you don't want to toe to the line is the yellow jersey.
We're getting the answer. That looks like Jack Haig kicking off. Oh, you've poked the bear. If you poke the bear, don't expect him not to bite. He's gone. Oh, already. It's happening already. Look at this. My goodness me, that is Jack Haig as well, who's just given it a little go. He didn't so much poke the bear, just tickled it, and the bear can't help himself.
Do you know what there, Jez? I said about Jack Haig, they would give, might give him a little bit of daylight. He's at 2:52. But I'm surprised at Pogacar there. So by going with that move, it means to me that, like I just highlighted a moment ago, Tadej Pogacar wants to win the stage. There's no reason to go with Haig there. Haig is just trying to win the stage.
Sorry, Brian, I think we've got another one coming. Yes, we have. They're going to keep doing this, and this looks like it's Tadej Gegenhardt covering the moves. The British rider for Ineos Grenadiers just sits, and he has the yellow jersey in his wheel.
No, just let him go. Let him go, Tadej, what you're doing. Let him go.
No. Pogacar's having none of this. You're absolutely right, Brian. I think he wants it all. He wants absolutely everything this week. He wants the stage.
Look what happened in the second stage. He was jumping after everything. He's incredible, jumping after everything. That was Jack Haig going again, because he's got daylight. He's almost 3 minutes down, but Pogacar won't let him go. He's not letting anybody go. Now Pogacar, he has to ease up a little bit, because he's got Tim Wellens just let him go. Just let him go, because Tim Wellens is not that far behind. And if Tim Wellens gets up, then he can help Pogacar.
Yeah, Pogacar swung off. Go on, Rodriguez, you chase now. Jack Haig has attacked 3 times now, and Tadej Gegenhardt is up for this. Andreas Kron is the next to go, along with Lorenzo Rota and Tadej Gegenhardt. Rota just dipping inside Andreas Kron and trying to work his way across to Jack Haig, who looks like he's going well today. He looks back to his teammates, Santi Buitrago and others, and Tadej Pogacar's going from the back. He's going right away from the back. Talk about PlayStation cycling. This is brilliant to watch. He is enjoying himself, Brian. I think he's going to go over the top. He is. Watch this. Have this. This is genius. This is not so much racing tactics. He's just having fun on his bike. Wow.
This is like schoolboy racing. Just go there and give it everything. Kid on, you're at the back, and attack again. This is incredible. But Mas was up for that as well there. But I thought he was looking behind, maybe get Wellens up there. He was doing a little bit too much. He was jumping after everything, and they'll soon be on Sivakov.
Well, Mas was man to it. Mas was ready. And as soon as Tadej Pogacar goes, he goes with him. We're not really focusing on Pavel Sivakov now. We're focusing on this, which is absolutely brilliant. Raw racing. And I would rather watch this than any other kind of racing out there. There's poor old Sivakov. And he's about to get a bit of a shock, because this is what Tadej Pogacar said about stage 2 when he was attacked by Mikel Landa. He said, well, I wasn't intending to attack, but they attacked me and I had no choice to go with it. And once again, they've stoked his fire today, and he's happy to pile the coals on. That was a wonderful layback attack right the way to the back of the grid. They must have known that was going to happen. Enric Mas certainly did, Brian. And we've got, well, arguably 2 of the strongest riders going clear. Can Sivakov hang on?
It's going to be difficult, but he's going to try everything he can. But Mas, looking to try and move up into the top 3. He needs just over a minute to manage that. And, we saw Bahrain victorious. What were they doing before today? They were riding. They're helping UAE Team Emirates. And look at them now. Look at what's happened. They're all over the place, and they can't chase these 2 back. So it's a case now of Mas. Pogacar's going to ride. He wants to win the stage. Mas is going to ride because he wants to get into the top 3. It was disappointing that he had that mechanical a couple of days ago. Otherwise, I think he would have been sitting in, I think, 2nd place. But he wants something from the day, and he's going to work with Pogacar. A lot of waving behind. You do not do that. You do not wave behind, because it signals to everybody we're in trouble.
You know just how fast he is from a leading group as well, Tadej Pogacar. This is a tricky one, isn't it? Right the way on the inside of the road and cuts across the apex, and absolutely milking, as you say, Brian, every centimetre of the road.
He could win from this group in the final climb. That's what you have to think about. He can win there. He doesn't have to take risks in the yellow jersey, because if he crashes, he could be losing the race. But we just love to see him race.
Yeah. Yes, there we were talking earlier about being restrained in certain teams where you might feel... I tell you, there's one great way of not being restrained is to be the best bike rider in the world. And
do you know what? That's what let him down last year in the Tour de France, is he has to be... When he was outnumbered, I think it was the Galibier in stage 11, where he just wanted to show everybody and ride at the front. And I think that day he learned that he has to be restrained a little bit. OK, he's not being restrained today. He just wants to love riding his bike, and this is what he does best. But in some occasions, I think that's what we learned last year, that when Jumbo-Visma were outnumbered him, and he did that show up the Galibier, I think it was, that he didn't have to do that.
This is not yet enough of a gap, if the timing is correct, and it's tricky to get the timing right on a twisty descent like this, but it's not yet enough of a gap to move Enric Mas up that much on general classification. Because he's still, what is that? He's still nearly a minute down on Carlos Rodriguez in third. So he'll be trying to get up onto that podium, but he's got some way to go yet in terms of eating a gap in to knock Carlos Rodriguez down.
No, I don't think that'll be possible. He's just thinking of potentially trying to win the stage. I really don't think if the two of them came to the line that Pogacar would give anything away. He doesn't seem that sort of rider, but the gap is coming down very, very quickly now. I would think it would be the likes of maybe Mohoric chasing down, but yeah, it's just a really exciting final to today's stage.
4K to go, and this tricky, windy Olive Grove descent continues as they make their way down to the Isnaha Reservoir, the biggest reservoir in Andalusia, and it is a whacking great one with beautiful beaches along the edge of it, shaded by the olive groves around the edges. And there's no doubt about it, I think at the moment, that the better descender in here is Tadej Pogacar. Enric Mas is just looking a little bit rigid in and out of these corners as well, but having to sprint so hard to get back onto the back wheel. Here we go. They've got company. Where on earth has he come from? It's not a great surprise, though. Matej Mohoric has crossed that gap like a bullet. Well, there's a new one to throw into the mix.
Yeah, they don't have a lot. The TV motorbike was getting in the way a little bit and kind of helped Landa not enjoying this one bit. But when we hit this final climb up to the finish, Mohoric is the wrong person to be here. So, I don't think he had to do that. It's probably better for him to try and kind of look after Landa more than anything. But he's another rider that just loves the race.
Maybe the radio signal
something
went up
about Slovenians.
No, maybe it was about Milan San Remo. Maybe it was us talking about MSR. Word got through to me. We were picking out Tadej Pogacar as a potential... Whoa, no! Not where we want that. That's Carlos Rodriguez who's gone down. He's back on. He's in the wrong gear, though, of course, because they were ripping into that corner. He could do with a push on his backside, but no one's given him one. He's got no teammates there either, of course. Rodriguez just getting onto the back wheel of Thiago Grimet. Wow. Big moment avoided there. He'll get a shot of adrenaline from this, Rodriguez. It might be actually just what he needs at this stage of the race. A little pick-me-up.
Well, there's two pick-me-ups before the finishing line. There's this one here, and it just goes down a little bit and then up towards the finish.
I'm sure at some point we'll see a slow-mo of that if we did catch it. Lucky.
Mohoric now going backwards there.
That was a big dig by him, not just to get on, but then try and contribute. I think Jack Hager's just sat up as well. Mikel Landa last those to go in the green jersey to try and get across. Andreas Kron on the back wheel of the green jersey, though, and Tadej Pogacar has a little look back. As Brian Smith has said, he doesn't need to be clear of this group to win today, because we know he is the fastest uphill. He's proved it already in this race on every single stage. He won the uphill bunch sprint yesterday, and he won the first two stages, both uphill. Once again, we're finishing uphill today, and Mikel Landa is closing, or trying to close the last bit of the gap. Andreas Kron is the Lotto Destiny rider who's trying to hang on. Lorenzo Fortunato, sorry, it's not Lorenzo Fortunato, is it? It's Lorenzo Rota who is trying to go across to them as well. These are the remnants of that 17 rider group. There's not that many of them left. Kron has made it onto the back wheel of Landa. Right, what does Landa do now?
Oh, he's hanging on, isn't he? I'm just looking at Andreas Kron. He's got a good kick, and potentially You know, he could be fighting it out for the victory here. That's all he's thinking about, just staying in here. These are the three kind of GC riders. Mas started the day in 5th place, but, you know, 147 down. Landa got himself there, so he's firmly on the podium. Another rider that can finish well, Lorenzo Rota for Intermarché, but you still have to think that Pogacar is in the driving seat here.
Yeah.
But I don't think Landa will push on here because, you know, where is Buitrago? Because Buitrago is rider started the day up there in the top 3.
So Lorenzo Rota has made it back in there, the Intermarché Circus 1T rider. He pushes a big gear, and at times I think he can look more ragged and tired than he actually is, Rota. He's on the back wheel of Andreas Kron, and Mikel Landa needs to be careful not to get distance on this last dip, because this dip leads into the final climb. This is it, really. 1,500 metres to go. They meet the bottom of this little descent here and immediately kick up in front of them. This is the finale, effectively, and it's looking like we're going to play it out with these 5 riders. There's hardly anyone out there that would now bet against yet another Tadej Pogacar victory, but let's see. Final kilometre. Tadej Pogacar in the yellow jersey sits second wheel. Enric Mas is determined to keep pressing at the front, or at least have clear road in front of him through this technical run-in. The crowd out in Isnaha to watch them descend, and now they start the ascent. This is where it starts to bite as well. It's really steep up here. Enric Mas is going for this, Brian, and he's really opened up a little bit of a gap on Pogacar, but he's still looking over his shoulder. He knows where he's going to be coming from.
Yeah, it's a good try, an excellent try, and, you know, putting pressure on Pogacar, but Pogacar is there. He's tracking them, and, you know, you need to think that, you know, as soon as he gets his breath back there, Pogacar, he is the favourite for this stage, blowing away everybody else in this stage. Andreas Kron is gone completely. Good to see him up there at the sharp end, but yeah, steep incline here up towards the finish now. It levels a little bit. This is the steepest part, and Pogacar looking for yet another stage win.
A little bump of wheels there as he came up the inside of Enric Mas. Enric Mas trying to find the smooth strip as they did the other day, but you sense there's just a moment until Tadej Pogacar opens up. As they went into that little bit there, he actually wiped his nose. Few athletes in the world at this level would have the wherewithal to wipe their nose, maybe thinking about that final finish line photo. It's really steep in the streets here of Isnaha. They're right out on the reservoir right now. Not that you'd know it from the buildings around them. Watch the face of Tadej Pogacar. Is he waiting? What's he got left, and when's he going to do it? Enric Mas has lifted it again. This is a great battle from the Spaniard. They're into the barriers, but you sense he's just waiting. What has Pogacar got left? He's going. The yellow jersey's going, and what has Enric Mas got left to hang on to that back wheel? He is hanging on. Is there one more dig? Is there one more dig in the body of Enric Mas? It doesn't look like it. Tadej Pogacar's kicking clear. He's going to get his 3rd stage win. And the smile is starting to grow from the man who takes 3 stages of this year's Route del Sol, and he wants 3 Tours de France. Is this the year he does it? So many subliminal and clear messages being sent out from Andalusia, and it's Tadej